is starting, and it should be starting, well, presumably now. Welcome, one and all, to the Gamers at Large podcast, and we're back once again this week. And yeah, we got a smaller, cast than usual, and part of it happens to do with people being, under the weather, as it were, for lack of a better term. But hey, going over here from my left to my right, gonna sit up here and just name off those that did make it. And we're starting off with the man, the myth, the legend. It's Jay. Do your thing, man.
Hey everybody, how y'all doing? We got a good show for you this evening. Hope y'all enjoy it.
Alrighty, there you go. Short, curt, and sweet. There you go. That's the way we do it. Now let's move on over here to the next man. He's the bouncer of the group. Keep everybody in line, Mr. T.
Hey fools, Mr. T back again. Sorry I missed you last week, but I'm back and ready to go.
All right. And up next, we got GN Tech TV, the man who sits up here and helps all types of avian people, all sorts of foul individuals, work with their PCs and whatever. It's GN Tech TV Gamer Nate. Do your thing, man.
What's up, guys? GN Tech TV first Gamer Nate of GN Tech TV.
Yeah, there's another one of us, Nate.
I know. There's no doubt there is more than one of us. At least there's only one of me. God forbid there was two of me, because then that duck definitely wouldn't have a duck's chance in hell.
Oh, well. Flat. Anyway. Little product placement. All right, up next we got our boy Rashidi. Rashidi, what it is? Rashidi.
Uh-oh.
Housekeeping?
Oh, Lord.
We lost him?
Rashidi!
I'm not sure.
Rashidi!
Okay, the number you have
want me
reached.
flat pillow?
The number you have reached.
He must have got duck napped.
Okay. Either that or he just plain old don't give a duck. All right. Okay, we'll get back to him when he gets that fixed. Okay, up next we got Shada123, also of GN Tech TV fan.
Thank you, guys. I'm back once again. Sorry I've been here and there and a little bit everywhere, but I'm back. I hope you enjoy the show.
Alrighty. So for today's podcast, we're gonna have Gamer Nate start off with his topic, and let's get the ball rolling.
I got a topic, and my topic is this. Was the investment worth it? And Mr. T, you're going to have to do something about that TV.
Hold on a second.
Okay. I guess I can talk now. Anyway, my topic is, was the investment worth it? All right? And this is after watching one of my most favorite YouTubers, been one of my most favorite YouTubers for a very long time. It goes by the name of Mark, Lord Carnage, a.k.a. ClassicGamer.com, all right? Which he recently, as of a couple days ago, left YouTube and is now doing his videos through Dailymotion on his website. More power to it. But I watched his PlayStation 4 review, and he stated something that, I've been thinking about, but I love the way he stated it. He said that the PlayStation 4 is not, it's not showing a leap as much as he would want, but the leap that is showing is in how much it's going to cost to make games for that system. And so, when I look at that, and I look at how he put it, I'm like, Nintendo went one way, Sony and Microsoft went the other way. Nintendo went with more power than what was last gen, but not so much that it drives the cost of game production sky high. Yet Sony and Microsoft, they go throw all this in there, and they're not getting anything very noticeably different than what last gen was. Granted, Battlefield 4 looks good on PS4 and Xbox One. It's running 60 frames a second. But that's about the only difference, is 60 frames a second. It's still, if you take Battlefield 4 on Xbox 360 and put it right next to Xbox One Battlefield 4, is there enough besides frame rate, is there enough of a difference to warrant the $500 price tag and the however many hundreds of thousands of millions of dollars it took to make it for that system? You know, Grand Theft Auto 5 cost $265 million to make, and that was on PS3 and 360. What's it going to cost? $520 million to make it for PS4, Xbox One?
That's a very tough one right there. I'm telling you something like that. Let's just say that if those figures live up to proportionally live up to what the going trend that we've seen now, future looks pretty bleak this gen. You know what I'm saying? As far as like a whole bunch of the third parties trying to invest in this new console generation, because the cost of admission is going to be high. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean,
the way I look at it is, in all honesty, it's we lost. Who did we lose?
I think we lost Jay. I'll get him back.
Oh,
There
he just came back.
Oh, there he is.
Anyway, all right. So here's my comparison. You go from Wii to Wii U. There's a huge, massive difference in graphics. Of course, I mean the Wii was no powerhouse. But from PS3 to PS4, there's not a difference. The Wii U and PS4, when it comes to certain games, look exactly alike. Would you agree?
I'd say they look.
Assassin's Creed 4. Is there really that much difference between Assassin's Creed 4 Wii U and Assassin's Creed 4 PS4?
Slightly sharper textures. Slightly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
It's not that much though.
It's not really that much. No.
Yeah.
it's better, but not enough for you to be like, oh my God, wow.
No.
Is it enough to warrant a $400 cost versus a $300
Nope.
cost?
Oh, hell no.
Mm-mm.
I'm comfortable with my PS3. Thank you.
I mean, that's another thing too. I mean, with this console generation competing against its prior gen actively, that's another thing that's going to lead to a lot of problems, because a lot of devs will just say, why am I going to spend X amount of dollars to sit up here and produce this game when I can easily produce it for PS3, which still has a large install base. It's very active. And also look at the Xbox 360, large install base, very active. I could produce it on the cheap for those two systems versus Xbox One and PlayStation 4.
Jay, kill the Wii U.
The Wii menu is killing us. The Wii menu music.
All right. Just to finish off my subject, I think that right now it's a do or die situation for Sony and Microsoft, and I'm not talking about hardware sales. I'm talking about software sales. We cannot have a repeat of last generation. Last generation, Last of Us came out, on PlayStation 3. All right, and it was a great game. But how many copies did it really sell? Like 3 million, almost 4 million total. Anybody know what the exact figure was?
I think it's like 3.7 million.
Yeah, 3.7 million out of a install base of over 80 million. A first-party title like that, they put so much money into that game, and I doubt they got the return on their investment. If we have them kind of sales number this generation, there are going to be a flood of companies going out of business because they can't afford to create games at the cost it's going to take to make those systems push the performance that gamers want if gamers aren't going to be willing to buy the games to begin with. Anyway, that's all I got to say.
Yeah, well, technology is the gift and the curse. The good stuff, the great thing is that it's technology, and you're going to get prettier games, expanded gameplay, hopefully. But that comes with a cost, and most companies can't afford that cost. So
Honestly,
we're going to lose the variety of games that we usually get. Like the last gen that we had, like a nice variety of games was the PS2, GameCube, Xbox era. That was the last gen that we had, a nice variety of games. And everybody seems to be chasing the Call of Duties and the Battlefield numbers now. So, games like what is it? What's that online team-based shooter coming out?
Destiny.
See, that's funny you said Destiny. I was thinking about a different one.
Called Defiance.
Titanfall.
I didn't even think about Defiance either.
The only one I can think of is Destiny or Defiance.
By Ubisoft.
I think
Driver,
seriously.
the Division.
The Division, that's it. That's the one I'm thinking about. And the sad thing is that you mentioned 5 other games, and that's the sad thing is that these games are so much alike that I'm not excited about them. You know, I'm not excited. And I think the industry, at least most gamers aren't either. Yeah, you have the hardcore gamers who will come out, you know, for those games, but that's not going to be enough to sustain, like you said, the budgets that that they need to make these kinds of games. Are we going to get less variety and less games ultimately? And game companies are going to continue to go out of business.
Yep, sad but true.
Well, yeah. But a lot of that has to do with like how the media portrays stuff as well, though. Because a lot of times, like the media portrays it like everything's all gravy, and it ain't.
Yeah, they feed into it.
Yeah, they feed into it, and they would have you believe that everything is going great with a couple companies, and it really ain't. And then they try to act like they're surprised when the company goes out of business. Like they were surprised when THQ went on it.
And the one company that is sustaining itself, that's in the green, gets all the flack.
Well, maybe they get hated on. That's why, because the fact that they stay in the green.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that Games Rosa that just joined?
Yep, that's Games Rosa.
What's Rosa?
How you doing, Rosa?
Hey.
All right. Sorry for letting you in a little late. We're waiting for everybody else to come, and it seems like everybody's under the weather for one reason or another. But what we were talking about is about the game industry and the expense that it costs to bring games now versus what we get out of it, pretty much, for lack of a better term. So what do you think, man? As far as like the expense that it costs to make these games, to produce these games nowadays, especially with this current console generation, might as well call it current. It's not next gen anymore. It's here. You know, the PS4, the Xbox One, the cost to produce games for it, it's going to be a lot higher than it was for the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. Do you think it's going to be worth it overall?
I mean, well, the cost of development is it's not rising, so it's just, and now what Capcom's doing, because they barely got any money, so it's like now they're starting with mobile so that we can get some more money. I mean, they use their Monster Hunter 4 sales money in order to make this whole mobile gaming studio, but with development now these days, it's like, I think if it keeps going up more and more, I think soon if, say, if there will be a next generation, I mean, you never know, but the cost might be even more higher, and then they might ask for more money, let's say, right now games are only $60, right? So it might turn up to like $70 because, costs are just going to get more and more and more and more. So,
Well, that's
and all the while, Wii U games will continue to be $49.99.
Oh, I know Nintendo will keep them at nice, good pricing range.
But the thing is, though, we've seen spikes. We've seen spikes and ebbs and flows in prices before, because if I recall, Chrono Trigger, when it was first released, was $80.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody remember that?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't even remember that.
I remember how much cartridges cost back then. It was retarded. 3 meg,
Oh my God, Super Mario 64, 70, like $6.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, we've had spikes in prices before. We had, and comparatively, it was higher back then if you think about it, because the money, its value back then was higher than now.
Yeah.
Yeah, inflation.
Mm-hmm. So comparatively, yeah.
That's the price now would be $300-400.
But the thing is, they gave you a full game back then.
Yeah,
that's true.
You didn't buy DLC. Your game was complete when you got it.
Pieces.
The only time that you would find games in pieces was shareware, and even then.
Can I talk real quick, gents?
Go for it, man.
Alright. This was a reality call because I always suspected this for the longest. I went to Boston for Thanksgiving to visit my big bro. One of my nephews is a spoiled brat. I love him, but he's spoiled. And the way he talked about Call of Duty, I didn't realize it. He said he spent like a whole bunch of money on like season passes and stuff, and he said it cost only, when he did it, there was only a few kilobytes to unlock it. So I'm like, wait a minute, a few kilobytes is not gonna unlock all those weapons and accessories. I'm like, there's no way you can unlock all that in just a few kilobytes. I'm like, that's on the disc.
Yeah, you're talking about on disc DLC, correct?
Yes.
Come all over again.
I wish somebody would get enough of a big enough pair of cojones to actually take and get a class action lawsuit against companies that do that stuff. Because technically, when you buy a game and it's already on that disc, you bought that information. You should not be charged just to access the information.
That's why we need a real gaming media.
That's the thing though, because you got a lot of people that'll basically suck up to these business practices, and they're part of the media, and they all only serve to perpetuate the problem because they claim to represent us gamers. They'll make it seem like we're okay with this kind of crap, and a lot of us won't stand for it. I mean, if the sales of third parties on the Wii U is any indication, when you sit up here and release a subpar product, odds are you're going to get lesser sales.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's garbage.
Yeah, I mean, I got Injustice for Wii U and got some DLC packs, and it was in kilobytes. And I'm like, there's no way all this stuff is coming out in kilobytes. It just doesn't make sense. I spent like $30 over the $60.
It's
I felt like I got
is.
robbed.
It's just a code. It's basically a line of information to tell your console that you can access information on that disc that's already there to begin with.
Exactly, Nate. That's garbage, bro.
You know, the thing is, like I said, so long as people keep paying for it, we're going to be continually shoveled that crap towards us.
Yep.
Well, that was my first and my last.
Which was the main reason why EA got mad at Nintendo, because they wouldn't let them get away with the whole microtransaction thing and trying to put Origin into the Miiverse.
Yeah.
That was the main reason.
And with this new generation of gamers, you know, like younger kids and stuff like that, I mean, God bless them because they're keeping gaming going, but, I mean, they're not going to not buy these things. You know, they don't possess enough patience at where they are in their life right now. I mean, people like us, you know, the older, more mature gamer, we can go, no, you know, I'm not going to pay for that and take a stand. But the younger generation of gamers, I'm sorry, they're younger. They won't do that. So it'll constantly be sold.
And on top of that, you used to could unlock the stuff. You can't unlock it if you gotta buy it. Like certain conditions had to be met.
For it, that's bullcrap.
Yeah, it is. But that's how they done made their that's how they try to recoup some of that cost, because like we said before, like the cost of development has been skyrocketing, which to me doesn't really make a lot of sense. But I mean, I guess from a developer standpoint, if you want to get the best bells and whistles, you are gonna have to pay for it. But one of the ways they try to get that back is with season passes. And some games have like 2 and 3 season passes. Like you get one season pass for 19, you might have to get another one 6 months down the road. That's another 19. You might have to get another one. That's another 6 months down the road after the Game of the Year edition, which has all that stuff already on it, for another $19.
Like I said, they need to go back to the days when DLC used to be, you know, something more sizable, when they were expansions rather than DLC.
Pikmin 3 is a good DLC. What's it called? I forgot that. Not Dark Rim, was it? I can't remember the damn game right now. Skyrim.
Skyrim?
Where it was an actual expansion, like
Real expansion pack DLC.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, cause I know a lot of people got mad at New Super Mario Brothers when they did the whole Super Luigi U thing. But the thing was, it was a completely different game.
Exactly. That's proper DLC.
They reworked the game so that the game mechanics could sit up here and kick you in the throat for not being good.
Basically.
And it wasn't in kilobytes. It wasn't in kilobytes download.
Yeah, but it was a completely different setup, because like a lot of people thought that it was the same game, and I'm like, no, it's not. It's everything with Luigi.
I know. Super Luigi U. I'm scared. I ain't gonna front.
Trust me, be afraid, be very afraid.
Yeah.
Anybody who's played it will tell you, from what I've been hearing, it's a butt kick and a half. I only got
It's all right. I'm gonna eventually tackle it. Just right now, I'm a little afraid, but I'm gonna eventually take it on.
It's one of those things where, you know how people like to say, "Oh, this game's too easy." Yeah, somebody in Japan heard that. Somebody at EAD heard that, and it was like, "Okay, you think that's easy? All right, that's okay."
Ain't no Go Tanuki suit here.
It's like they gave us. Remember how they gave us Super Mario Brothers 2, which was supposed to be the Lost Worlds or whatever, but they gave us Doki Doki Panic.
Yeah,
It was too hard. Same thing.
Pretty much, they sat up there and said, "Okay, so you think you're good now, right? Okay, here you go."
Here's the Lost Worlds.
You ready?
Oh, and that mushroom, that's a poison mushroom. We're not gonna tell you about it. You're gonna find out the hard way.
Good. Yo, that poison mushroom.
Hey, Rashidi, we're having a really hard time hearing you because you're cutting in and out, dude.
Damn.
Yeah, I know, bro.
Heard that though.
Yep, we heard that.
What you gotta do is you gotta say everything one word at a time, almost like you're a robot. This is a lot of fun, guys.
Or you just go kung fu movie.
Oh yeah, there we go. Well,
Easy.
Well, one thing I wanted to talk about, which is YouTube related, is the turnaround that we've been seeing by a lot of the companies trying to help people with their content ID strikes. I'm going to go bring that up again, and I'm happy to do it because it's something that's relevant to YouTubers. So, I mean, what do you think of this so far? I mean, there have been some that have been on the fence, others that full-blown want to help, you know, and other ones that were like, okay, screw it, whatever, it's ours, so yeah, neener. So, but pretty much it seems that a good lion's share of the companies are coming over here trying to help the gamers, you know, overcome their content ID strikes by adding them to a whitelist in order to prevent them from, you know, having a copy, you know, content ID match or copyright, copyright claim being put on them automatically. So what do you think of all that?
Well, I'll tell you what I think. I think YouTube needs to call off its dogs because if these companies are not actually telling them to put it, I think it needs to go to a system of if the company sees the video, then they actually have to, you know, they put the claim in. There should be no automatic bot crap doing it because the automatic bot is screwing a lot of people up that have worked their ass off to get where they're at. That have done it by the book and had followed the rules and guidelines that have been in place since 2008, and now all of a sudden it's a problem. You don't bite the hand that feeds you.
I agree, and you know the thing is though, I forgot the name of the developer, but I gotta look it up because I was looking at N4G, and on their feed they said that there was a guy who made his own game and actually got a content ID match on his own game.
Yeah, he did.
That happens to me all the time on original music.
He got flagged, and he's working through it now with YouTube, with Google and YouTube.
But see, the problem is there's no phone number to call to talk to people at YouTube and Google. They don't have phone service support. You know, multi-trillion-dollar company can't afford a goddamn phone.
Right. All you get is a blanketed robotic email, and you don't know how to respond to it because it's not specific enough. Well, what is the problem in my video that you have a problem with?
Cam looks like the Blair Witch Project, shifting around and stuff.
You don't know how to answer it. You don't know how to answer. Okay, what specifically in my video do you have a problem with? Because they don't tell you that in that email, that initial email you get, and then you try to respond to it, and you don't know how to respond to it, and so like Nate said, you can't talk to anybody, and I just throw my hands up in the air and say the hell with it, you know, and just.
Man, that's all you can do right now. But like in my video earlier this week, I will tell you, I think gamers need to unite. We need to throw out all this. Oh, I like Xbox. No, I like Nintendo. Screw what you like. You play a game. You play a game. And, you know, you just need to unite with all your fellow gaming buddies and stand up to all this crap and just make a petition or something. Something.
Kumbaya.
Yeah, hell yeah.
It ain't gonna happen.
I was saying the same thing earlier this week. Nate and I were having a discussion about this regarding this whole situation about how maybe perhaps gamers. He was saying that gamers should perhaps make a non-monetization of videos by the droves in order to send a clear message to YouTube.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I said, here's the thing though. Who would actually participate? I mean, you can't really guarantee participation of something, something on that level.
Can I
Too many
actually
fools want their
explain
money.
that idea a little bit more there?
Go
Since you
for it.
brought it up. Here's what I think that all content creators on YouTube, both in the gaming community, in the movie section, the entertainment section, comedy section, if it's sitting on a toilet, sitting on a toilet, like one video out there that's gotten billions of freaking views, it's made billions of dollars. No matter what part of YouTube you're in, the only way, because going for a class action lawsuit ain't gonna work. YouTube's got too much money. Google's got too much money. Too many lawyers, too much money, much less, it ain't like you can be able to find a place to send the dadgum petition, the summons.
They could bring an ID bot and win in court.
Yeah.
That's how
So
advanced it is.
here's the way you tackle the behemoth that this has become. Every single content producer on YouTube, we pick a week starting next year. Say the first week of January, second week of January, whatever. And for an entire week, YouTube has a blackout. No monetization, future videos, present videos, or past videos. Everybody goes in and just takes monetization off. For an entire week, YouTube does not make 1 cent in advertisement, 1 cent on anything. I guarantee you, for a week like that, we're talking since they've done made $5.6 billion in 2013. 1 week is a pretty good chunk of change. And if you could get everybody in YouTube to do this, if it was like Convoy, I don't know if you got any of y'all familiar with the old trucking movie called Convoy.
Yeah.
That was actually based on a true story, based on real life events. It went back in the 70s, whenever the price of oil was skyrocketing and diesel was costing way too much. All of a sudden truckers just gang together. They started a convoy, and it was nationwide news and everything. If we here on YouTube, as content creators, start our own convoy and have a blackout week, YouTube will be put on its ass, and this stuff will change, and it will change fast. Because there's one thing that YouTube likes more than kissing a corporate, kiss ass's butt, and that's getting that check in their pocket every day.
Mm-hmm. We gotta go get a PewDiePie. Make sure he's on.
Problem is PewDiePie is probably a managed. He's classified as managed, so therefore he's not even getting hit with this stuff really.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm sure he ain't.
And so, like
I'll
I
tell
said,
you who would be nice to get on it, and that's Smosh Games. Smosh
Smosh,
TV,
yeah,
Smosh Games.
Smosh.
They are just as huge as PewDiePie.
yeah. The other thing is going about it. It's going to be kind of rough, and will they cooperate, and will they go down with, will they end up being down with the whole program or what? That's the thing.
Would they be worried about YouTube retaliating?
Exactly.
What can YouTube do? Delete everybody's channel? That would be the biggest PR disaster in
They can,
history.
they can get rid of them and put somebody else in their spot.
Mm-hmm. It could happen. I mean, that's the messed up part. I mean, I guess this is just one of the many changes that.
If YouTube retaliated against its content creators for doing this, that would be the most biggest PR disaster since Duckgate.
YouTube been retaliating against us since when they started making all these changes with Google, adding Google in. I see that as a retaliation.
Google Plus, I could stomach. The stuff they've done in the past, I could stomach. But this I can't stomach. This goes too far.
Is this really coming from Google, or is it coming from other corporations as well?
No, it's coming from Google.
Okay.
Nobody has told Google to do this. Google is doing this of their own volition.
Okay. Okay.
They're submitting claims for people that haven't even gone to your channel and pressed the report button.
Okay. Because I know I was watching one of Black Nerd Comedy's videos this week about that, and he was saying how he actually got flagged on something that the company asked him to work on. So I was wondering, was it one of those
And Phil
situations?
got
Wow.
flagged on his Tomb Raider interview.
Yeah.
I mean, by Tomb Raider or whatever. I mean,
You know, even the guy who sold YouTube to Google is like, what have I done? Like, seriously.
Cashed a big check what he did, but
Why would you sell it? I mean, honestly, this guy, whoever created, I don't know the complete history of YouTube, but the person that created it right now has got to be like the cat behind the couch licking his paws after running into the freaking, the glass door, going, fucking me out, why did I sell it? Because, quite frankly, not only has he shortchanged himself, think about it, $5.6 billion in 1 year. That's what YouTube has made this year alone.
Yeah, but
$5.6 billion.
that's now. I mean, like when it first got sold, I'm pretty sure it wasn't like that.
I'm sure.
money.
You know what?
Yeah,
Every
there's-
good thing starts out small, and if you do
Yeah.
it right, it builds big. And now it's so big that Google is getting stupid. They want to tear down what feeds them.
I don't know what to make of this anymore. I mean, I guess they're the victim of their own success, you could say, in a way.
Yeah, because it happens.
They're pulling a Mark Zuckerberg or whatever they call it.
It happens to all of them.
Think about what happened to Facebook when they went public.
Quack.
Yeah, that was the biggest mistake they could have ever made. But yeah.
Oh, Lord.
just watch The Social Network.
I've
Oh,
seen it.
Lord. D-Facebook. Oh, Lord. Well, I'm just going to say it right now that, social networking has become less about being social and more about monetary networking. And that's the problem.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? That's the whole problem right there. You know what I'm saying? Is that they act like there's no room for both. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't be social, you can't leave things a little bit more open, a little bit more free, you know what I'm saying? Sorry for sitting up here and sounding all kumbaya, hippie tree hugger right now, but I'm just saying though, YouTube,
know what?
back in the day, if you were a content creator, you created content, you had fun, it was a hobby. Even for me now, this is a hobby. This is what I like to do, you know what I'm saying? Being that, I'm retired. This
You
is
know
just,
what? I'll give you the perfect solution.
Mhm.
YouTube, Google, clean out thy ears and listen. This is what you do. This will make everybody happy. This will make copyright holders happy. This will make content creators happy. This will make your pocketbook happy, and it will make me happy. This is what you do. Whatever video gets put up, if it has a copyrighted material section, if that section is 14 seconds long, you take 14 seconds, divide it into the entire length of the video. That gives you the percentage of the video that 14 seconds occupies. You then take that percent of whatever revenue that video makes, and you send it to that copyright holder. Then the rest comes to the content holder and YouTube or our partners such as N4G TV. Then everybody can be able to get a piece of the pie, and everybody can be able to be more open and expressive in the content we create. Sometimes I want to use a Metallica intro, but if I do that, I know it will be
Lars
flagged
Ulrich will
instantly.
sue your ass.
But
that's the
Yeah.
bad.
But I'll bet you even Lars Ulrich, or whatever his name is, I bet you even he will agree to it if he gets a percentage of the revenue off that video every time somebody clicks an ad or passes through an ad or whatever. He'll be happy. He's still getting his money, and his music's getting put out there. I'm not going to use an entire song, but 10 seconds of, say, Sad But True or Ride the Lightning or One would be freaking awesome for an intro. Can't do it, though, because of this stupid copyright system.
See, man, the problem with that is that is too complicated and it makes too much damn sense. I mean, that's just the problem with that. But I mean, let's get to the heart of the matter. The heart of the matter is eventually anything that is popular is going to piss everybody off. I mean, it's just going to happen because the people who YouTube was so much cooler when, like you said, when back in the days and people were just making the videos, it was cool, it was free. And then the moneyed interest got in, and anything that can make money eventually is gonna it's gonna get messed up when you throw money into it. It's always gonna get messed up somehow. That happened. Remember when Apple was cool, and then Apple lost its coolness when it got popular, when it got
when everything was I this and I that.
Right. They started making money, and it was like, oh. Everything, went to the can. So
yeah,
I mean,
remember whenever Nintendo was cool and Nintendo was popular?
Remember when Nintendo was cool, when Atari was cool, but when the money gets in, it gets popular, and people want more and more and more and expect more and more and more. That coolness gets smothered by dollars and cents.
More like dollars and no cents.
Dollars and no cents.
But like I said though, before, it's a shame that they don't consider bringing things back, to back in the day when things was cool,
And you know what? I'll be honest with you. If I could be able to put up a video and never worry about a copyright on it, I would never monetize a video. Meaning, if I could be able to use whatever Metallica song I want, whatever movie clip I want, as long as it's not the entire thing. But if I could take sections of it and be able to just be the creative person I am, I would not care about monetizing a video. Because then, at least I could be having fun. But as it is, I got to do so much work to make sure I'm not breaking rules. My God, I'm going to get paid for it.
Yeah, well, you're talking about stuff that is copyrighted. I'm having problem with stuff that I created myself on my computer. I have to prove I have a license to use the content I created myself. I'm having that problem all the time, like with my Teeny Bite open them up videos when I do unboxings and I just play music. That's all original music.
Dude,
that I have the right to.
I one time got copyrighted claim, or I got told I need to provide proof that I had this.
Provide proof, right?
Based on a camera filter from my phone from one of my truck videos.
Ridiculous.
A camera filter. I'm like,
Really
you idiot! It's me right there in the video. Can you not tell?
I'm surprised they ain't flagging me for the Mr. T song.
Oh, dang.
I'm surprised.
Yeah,
It's gotten that bad. It's gotten that bad.
Wow. Well, I mean, it is what it is. I guess we're just gonna have to sit up here and put up with it, until something gets done, either by them or by the content creators, one way or another. One way or another, it's gonna come to a head.
Swing low.
Anywho, but anyway, if anybody has any other topics, Bueller.
Well, the New Year's, New Year coming up, New Year of games.
Okay.
Let's see. What are you guys most anticipated for next year?
Oh,
For any system, doesn't matter.
Good question.
Can it be more than one game? Max 2?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Let's have a
Max
max of 7.
No, max of 2.
Oh,
Max
max
of
of
2.
2. Okay, you got it.
X and Bayonetta 2.
Oh yeah.
Okay, there we go. Then I'm gonna still stick with X and Shin Megami Cross Fire Emblem.
Mm-hmm. Those are my two. Those are my two exactly because, I mean, we pretty much have an idea what we're gonna get out of Zelda.
Mm-hmm.
And we know what we're gonna get from Donkey Kong mostly.
Mm-hmm.
We know we're gonna get from Mario Kart mostly. So yeah, I mean, I want to be excited for a game on another system, but other than X and Shin Megami Cross Fire Emblem, I don't see anything that makes me want to buy another system yet. Not
I'll
yet.
say this: that Destiny is one game that I'm very, very interested in.
Well,
And it's a shame it's not coming to PC. So it looks like if it turns out as good as I think it's going to be, then I'm going to have to either pick PS4 or Xbox One for that game, because that game to me is, from what it's looking like so far, it's looking like a system seller.
well, being the type of game I am, I can't get excited for a game that requires me to be online. I mean, it has no campaign. I need the campaign.
Well, see, you gotta understand. Destiny is going for the. It's trying to blend FPS and MMO.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. I'm just not a big fan of FPS or MMO, so it don't really work that much for me. But
Well, yeah, then
there's a
Destiny is
market
not for
it.
you.
I'm sure yeah, exactly. I'm sure to sell well. There's a market for it. It's just not a game I'm excited for.
No. What you're needing is the next generation version of Duck Hunt.
I miss that game so much.
That's a great game. Huh?
I'm surprised they didn't make a something about that, a Duck Hunt nod, here or there. As a matter of fact, you know what? I would like to see that done as a screen obstruction. A screen obstruction during Smash.
I thought for sure we get it on the Wii. It just made so much sense. But I guess that's why Nintendo didn't do it.
No, but can you imagine though a duck hunt, stage where you see the dog pop up and all this stuff obscuring the screen, and all those little hazards coming in the way, like the ducks flying and the person shooting.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
That'd be cool.
Shoot, I'd be down for something like that over there in Smash. If it ends up in Smash, I call dibs on the idea.
Actually, because that's one of mine. One of mine is Smash, and the other one of mine is Tales of Exilia 2.
Oh my god. I love the Tales of
Be a good way to pass the time during the loading screens. Do some duck hunting.
Yeah, with my current gaming situation being PC only, I mean, it's not going to be like that next year, but, if it was, the two that I would anticipate the most is Grand Theft Auto 5, hopefully coming to PC, and Titanfall.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting Titanfall PC myself.
Yeah, it's gonna be on PC, ain't it? I thought it was already confirmed.
Yeah, it's coming to PC.
Yeah.
Yes, just.
Now.
Is it going to be released the same time as, or is it coming
I
out later?
believe it's coming out the same time. Yes.
Okay.
I believe. I could be wrong on this.
No, Nate, I think you're right.
I guess they don't want to sell it on Xbox One then. They gotta do that.
No, I mean even Microsoft themselves. It was a couple of weeks ago. They come out and said that they really let the PC side of their gaming structure fall behind because of Xbox, and that they are going to rectify that this coming generation. That they're going to be a lot more on top of PC gaming within the Microsoft platform. So.
That's good for the game.
I'm hoping they hold up to it. I mean.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, that's great.
I would love it if Microsoft would come out with a gaming Windows 8 that didn't have none of the bullshit that I really don't need.
No, they ain't gonna do that. They're not gonna do that. They just spend too much money on Windows 8. They ain't gonna do that.
Yeah, they pushing Windows 8.
Windows 8.
You gonna get that?
Lord.
Which, by the way, Quan, did you know that SteamOS is now available to download and try out?
Yes, sir.
Have you done it?
No, sir.
I haven't done it either because it doesn't support AMD cards yet.
I've been too busy fooling around with Zorin OS and Windows 8 to be worried about SteamOS just yet. Just yet.
I think SteamOS runs on a Xevis build or something like that. Xevis, whatever you call it. How many different builds of Linux are there? This one that I see, it starts with a D or a Z? D, I think.
Okay. You talk about Debian Linux?
Yeah, Debian Linux. That's it. Debian.
Okay, so yeah, okay. All right.
That's what it's using, a form of Debian Linux.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
What I can't wait for is the damn Steam Controller. Oh, I get my hands just like
Oh, yeah, me too.
I want it.
Oh, Lord.
I'd like to get a price point. I mean, for the Steam box, I'm waiting on that. I'm actually
$500.
waiting on that to decide.
The one that iBuyPower has showcased.
$500.
$500, $4.99, And it's supposed to be able to do 1080p, 60 frames a second.
But I mean, I also have to think practically because, you know, I might just go ahead and get me a gaming PC or build one because I can use it to game on, and also I need a higher end PC to do the type of, you know, work I do with graphics and 3D modeling and stuff. So it probably will make more sense.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you need any help picking out the parts, be ashamed to help.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna holler at you first for sure. You know.
That's for damn sure.
Did you see the guy who unboxed his beta test one?
No, I did not. How'd that turn out?
So basically, you get the new Steam controller, of course, and then you get the HDMI cables, the Steam box. It came in like this wooden box. Like I don't know. They want to be like, you know, they want to be fancy with it, so they came in like this wooden box. Inside of it, you get the HDMI, the controller, the Steam box itself. It's basically black, and I mean that's all he showed. Basically, what's inside the box.
Looks like a bigger cable box than what Xbox One does, right?
Actually, it looks a little bit smaller. Not that much smaller than the Xbox One, but it looks a little bit smaller.
I think the iBuyPower one looked better. It had this green light-up thing.
Oh yeah, that. Oh my God, yes. I would love to have that.
Tell me if that wasn't a slap at Microsoft's face.
the little silver box, is that what it is?
Yeah, it's silver. There was one that was silver, and there was one that was black, and it lit up green all the way around the sides.
Oh man!
I mean, just bright green. I'm like, that's what Xbox One should have looked like.
Yeah.
It should have looked like that with an X on top. Bring it back to, since you want to call it Xbox One, you need to do a throwback to Xbox One. That way, when we say Xbox One, we can at least use Xbox One for both.
Hey, look who's here!
Shadow Fox. He's muted
What's
though.
up, Tobias?
Oh, there you go.
Oh, there
Shadow Fox.
Just figured I'd pop my head in for a second.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Hey, somebody get the mallet. He's popping his head up out of the hole. Get the mallet. Whack!
Oh man. Hey, Shadow, you got any topics you want to discuss, by the way, since you popping in?
I kind of figured I would pop in and see what was the word lately going on.
Pop in and not bring a subject.
Oh yeah, there you go.
I don't care if it's talking about how long a macaroni is.
How long a macaroni?
It's longer than Duck Bond's brain.
I was gonna say wet or dry.
Okay then. All right.
Yeah, popping in and not having a subject. That's like coming to a table with a plate of food and we eat and everybody else hungry.
I can take that last one, Tobias, but I'm gonna leave it alone.
I do have a question though.
Go for it.
And does anybody have Call of Duty Ghosts for the Wii U?
I do.
Okay, this is the question that I want to answer to because I don't seem to have one. Call of Duty Ghosts, does it support 4-player local multiplayer in that version? I know all the other versions it was scrapped.
I haven't had 4-player, I only had 2. So I can't confirm or deny that.
Well, on the PC, you can't even really play it. It's still broken, so I couldn't play it.
I've only had 2-player. I've only had 2-player local. I haven't had 4.
That was the only thing I was kind of wondering because I was watching it being played on the 360 not too long ago with my son, and I was like, why is it only 2 players on the screen? And I realized, hey, you know, it might not be able to run 4 players simultaneously.
There hasn't been a 4-player simultaneous Call of Duty ever on console.
On the Wii U it is. Black Ops 2 it is.
Black Ops 2 only went 2-player, but
it's 4 on the Wii U. They were just playing it Friday. They were playing. My son was playing on the gamepad, and 2 people were playing with the Pro controller. It was 3 on the screen, and then there was 1 black screen extra, but you could play up to 4.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't even know if.
And the Wii U's weak.
Yeah, you know, Wii U's weak.
Okay, let me get this straight. It's displaying 4 separate images, although being it may be smaller on the screen, and still the screen in the Wii U's weak.
Plus the gamepad.
Man, somebody need to send that gun duck proctologist.
Yeah, that tends to be the topic these days. I actually did. That's one topic I kind of wanted to bring up. I have to find the link for it. But yet another person decided to say that the Wii U was the console to get. I think it was Business Insider.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Said
Business
Wii U
Insider.
was a console to get this year because of the games and things of that nature. And another thing that I saw was there was another article talking about why is it that Wii U is the whipping boy and why is it so popular to post negative articles. It seems to be the only excuse people can come up with to get traffic on their sites. And one of them tried to bring it back as far as that the other guy did in his video that Nintendo went on about, saying that developers are still afraid from the old days when Nintendo had total control and may have been a jackass back then.
There's no may about it.
Yeah,
they were rough. They were
I
rough.
don't want that to happen again. So.
Well, Yamauchi and Lincoln are not in charge, so they need to calm their little panties down, to calm down a bit. It ain't that serious. Sheesh.
I mean, well,
Those days are gone.
That's what I'm saying. Please understand.
The problem now is Iwata's too nice, though.
Yeah.
Iwata's too nice. You went from hardcore, I dare you to say something to my face, to please understand. So, I mean, because Yamauchi, he wouldn't, I would love to see Jeff Keighley talk trash to Yamauchi.
He had to be that way though, because of what happened with Atari. He didn't want that to happen with Nintendo. That's why he tried to lock everybody down and lock everybody up.
Well, when you have nothing to lose either,
control.
when you're the second richest man in Japan,
Right.
it doesn't really hurt you to be a little bold either.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm pretty sure he wasn't worried about anything. He's like, hey, if Nintendo goes under, I can afford them myself. So.
All I got to say is to these third-party developers, by this time next year, if PS4 and Xbox One haven't broke 4 or 5 million, and Wii U is sitting at about 6 to 7 or 8 million strong, I better see games start coming to the Wii U. I don't want to hear that install base shit, because then if PS4 and Xbox One have less installs compared to the Wii U, as it does right now, there's no reason why they can't bring their games to Wii U. And in fact,
Nate, check
What?
your memory, because they were making that complaint this time last year, and it just came out, and it sold 3 million in 30 days.
I know.
They were still
I know.
saying the install base is low. Now that both Xbox One and the PS4 still haven't sold that amount, they're saying that still Wii U has an issue because it has close to 4 million. Or over 4 million, I'm guessing now at this point.
Well, you also got to remember, 360 and PS3 isn't going to stop being supported till, I think, late 2015. So they still going to have that excuse.
All the more reason to support Wii U, since at least on the CPU side it has a similar architecture.
It's going to be another excuse.
Yeah.
Insert random excuse.
Yeah. So you have this hybrid system,
Look, all I
CPU
know
architecture
is
similar
I
to
don't live in
360.
California and New York, because I'd be knocking bitches out if I could.
Like I said, insert random excuse.
Man, I'm in California.
I mean-
You crash at my house, we'll make a road trip out of it.
I've already said that the GameCube exposed the fact that they make excuses. I mean,
Oh yeah, because then it was the kitty.
right,
Yeah.
right. They
It's
just
like,
made another
this system
excuse
is
up.
kitty. Oh,
Right.
but it has Dead to Rights on it, and let's see, Geist on it, and
And
True Crime, Streets
Turok
of LA.
on it,
Eternal Darkness.
Eternal Darkness. Oh, that's a first party game. Oh God.
And all the Resident Evils. All the way.
All the Resident
Yeah,
Evil.
all of them. Tales of Symphonia. Soul Calibur 2 featuring
But
Link.
Then, no, the discs are too small.
Yes.
Really?
Never mind that
We
you
didn't
can
have multiple
layer them.
discs on PS1. We didn't have multi-disc games.
I'm
Square.
sorry, 360 right now. You
360
can
right
have-
now. I was getting to them. 360 right now. PlayStation. I don't know if PlayStation 2 had the multiple. I'm not sure.
They did.
Halo 4
They did.
and Black Ops. Halo 4
they?
and
Yeah.
Call of Duty Ghosts right now. The campaign is on one disc.
And Battlefield 4.
Isn't the multiplayer on another disc?
Yeah, multiplayer is the first thing you get when you turn the game on. You have to install the campaign separately.
Yeah.
So that was
Isn't
exposed
it funny?
as a bogus excuse.
I'm about to change the subject. This actually goes with what y'all are talking about right now as far as disk storage and stuff like that. Did y'all see the latest news about I think it came out on IGN or something, that the Xbox One maxes out at 362 gigs used? That's when you can't put nothing else on it.
Yep.
So
Wow.
what's the remainder for?
That's the triple operating system taking up the rest.
362
Yeah. That's
Wow.
why, if you remember,
500 gigs,
out of 500 gigs.
you can only use 362 gigs.
The irony, 362.
if you remember, remember when they did their little direct or whatever, and people kept asking them like, why are you not letting us? You should at least have a terabyte or at least 2 terabytes for all the stuff you want to do. Because remember back then they were saying you had to install every game. Remember that? It was going to fill up too fast, and right now, I don't think they can't take external hard drives till sometime next year.
That's right. I don't know about you, but I think I prefer the way that you did it, because the fact that they went with the stronger laser, the faster read speed, that it makes it where mandatory installs are not necessary. And that means you can actually just pop your disc in and start playing.
That's not next gen.
But check this out. Check this out, guys. According to a certain duck, there's no difference between a PC and a console, because there are absolutely no inhibitors to play a PC game versus a console.
Y'all been going at it for a couple of weeks. I saw that on my feed.
Oh my God! Back and forth with this guy.
He will not relent.
Oh my God! So apparently, having to install Windows, having to install security software, having to install Windows updates, of which you'll get graphics drivers that are already like
antivirus, firewall.
Oh my God! Apparently the NVIDIA Experience application, which only works for certain GPUs, like the enthusiast ones that you buy or whatever, they don't work with workstation GPUs, they don't work with lower end GPUs, and they don't work with any of the embedded GPUs at all. So if you have any other type of system, all it's going to work with is just, whatever the consumer stuff is. That's just one click, apparently. And so when Steam, just one click.
Certain duck.
Never mind the fact that you
certain
have to
duck
create an
Nate
account.
talks about.
You know what makes me
let's see.
sick?
That's Microsoft.
You know what makes
that's
me
Steam,
angry, that
that's
I can
NVIDIA.
just take and have duck tartar.
So that's at least 3 different setups that you're looking at right there from the beginning versus a Wii U or even a PS4, turning it on and going.
You know what, Tobias? I do got to counter something though. You make PC sound so draconian. To be honest with you, I love PC over all forms of game. Okay?
Oh, I do too. But you can't tell me.
But you're not going to win that argument.
You're going to tell me that
ducks
Origin doesn't
don't
exist,
listen.
that it's not separate, Steam isn't separate. You're going to tell me that Battle.net isn't separate, and you don't have to go into each one of those separately.
But let me tell you the beauty of why I like PC versus console, and this is why remember my Truck and Dan video where I said that it would have been more next gen for Microsoft to have stuck to their guns and brought the DRM that they were planning on bringing in the way they were going to bring it. People were all up in arms, but they don't realize is that Microsoft was going for the Steam format.
Yeah, and you'd be able to
consoles.
rent out games to other people and stuff.
And not just that. Here's what I do. I just got done doing a fresh install. Here's what I do. Like for Origin, I go in there. I've got like 15 games through Origin. I start installs of every one of them at the same time. Go to bed. Come back in the morning. They're all installed. I ain't got to do nothing. I ain't got to pop the disc in. I ain't got to do none of that. Just install. Easy. Steam works a lot like the same way. You can go in there and you just start install after install after install, and it will sit there and download one after another. It does it one at a time on Steam, which is something I wish they could fix. But, one at a time on Steam, and all you got to do is just, leave your screensaver where it comes on, go to bed, and, get up in the morning, it's done.
That reminds me of that middleware, and I'm trying to think of the name of it. It's a streaming agent, and a lot of EA's games are starting to use it now, where you can just start playing the game. Like I don't know what Sony and Microsoft are using, but you can basically start playing the game as you download it. I know Tor's doing it. I think Diablo's using it too. So where once you start installing the game, especially if you download the online client. As you're downloading the online client, you download like maybe
World of Warcraft.
500 megabytes or whatever, and the game's playable, and it's downloading the rest in the background while you play the beginning, which I actually kind of like, and it's basically like a torrent for your gaming environment, which it basically is what you're getting at, Nate. And yeah, that is great. That's a great advantage.
I mean, honestly, I just think that Xbox, Microsoft should be stuck to the guns, because retail disc is getting old and antiquated. Okay, if we went to straight digital, it's a tough sell at first because people that like to collect games, they just, you know what? There's a way to fix that. When you buy a game digitally, if you pre-order it, you can be able to go to the store and you get a special plaque or something like that. You know what I mean? Or they send it to you via UPS or FedEx, something that you can hang on the wall and say, "Hey, I got this game, bought it digitally, it's mine."
Okay, I'll agree with you on that, even on the business side, and here's why. Sony and Microsoft are quote-unquote the big boys. They're favored by the majority of people, right? Mm-hmm. They can afford the verbal and online backlash that would cause. And everybody knows the future. Let's put it this way. The writing's on the wall if Nintendo is releasing day and date digital from the start of their console. If they're doing it, come on now. Sony and Microsoft know that's where it's going. Mm-hmm. So at that point, instead of doing a 180 on the backlash and saying, "Oh, Microsoft got ate up," maybe we should let's go ahead and remove all that, or at least from tomorrow's statement, we'll change the terms of service later. Oh wait, they're going to catch us 3 months from now. Well, and just go ahead and go forward with what you were doing and show your full plan. Take the backlash as you will. You may only sell 1 million consoles over Christmas, but then over time it gets better and people eventually migrate their way back over.
Yeah, because let's be honest. Christmas you'll be able to buy entire catalogs of games from publishers at a much reduced price.
Hey, gentlemen, let's be real here.
Are they going to reduce the price though? That's the problem.
Yes, Microsoft actually came out and said that they had plans to do Steam-like sales on their service. Well, and when that came out, and it came out about the family share plan and all that, after they already did a 180 and took it away, and the news come out about the family share plan and everything else, man, all of a sudden you see people like wanting to start petitions to get Microsoft to go ahead and reverse what they just reversed. And I'm like, well, you idiots, you shouldn't open your mouth to begin with. People are so quick to cry and bitch.
Well, part of that is Microsoft's problem because they didn't clarify it better. They didn't clarify nothing. They just like, you're gonna do it this way, and that's it.
They was tiptoeing and trying to hide stuff, and
it didn't help that Matrick at the time, Don Matrick, just pretty much blew everybody off.
He was on his way out.
He was already in another job. His mind was on the next job already.
That's why my thing was, why even let him?
Why?
He
shouldn't have been a spokesperson at all.
He shouldn't have been the spokesperson to nothing. He should have been packing his stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Because he was already his office was already cleared out by the time they started rolling that stuff out.
And that's what I think. That's why like a lot of people. Because my thing about the whole DRM situation was, I'm like, okay, look, I don't understand it, but if somebody explains it, then because at first I was like, okay, so basically you telling me I can't let somebody borrow a game. Screw you, I'm not finna do that. Right. So, you can't tell me I can't let somebody borrow a game. And like they didn't, none of the execs at Microsoft during that whole little spiel did anything to try to combat that, try to explain anything. They just was like, this how it is, and if you don't like it, screw you.
Can I explain to you exactly what it was going to be like if they hadn't changed it? The reason, first off, tackle the always online subject. All right. There was a reason why the system was going to be designed to be always online before they changed it and decided not to do that. Because people that thought, you wasn't going to be able to trade your games in, or that you wasn't going to be able to do this or that, no, you were going to be able to do that. But the deal is each game would be registered to the console, sort of like how Nintendo does it, okay? It would be registered to your account. Not so much the console ID, but to your account. Whenever you want to go trade the game in, if you're tired of playing it and you want to go trade it in, because the game is mandatory install and pretty much is like a digital format, but even though you're getting the disc, whenever you go to trade it in at the place where it's designated you could trade it in at, which would be every GameStop. Come on, people. They're not going to cut GameStop out of the money. They would take that disc, they would take the code that's embedded into the disc, you know, and go on. It would basically automatically go online to, you know, to Microsoft. It would find your account, strip your account of access to that game, and make the code available to be resold. And it would be resold at a price that's more manageable. It wouldn't just be what GameStop wants to sell it at, because when they go to resell it, the publisher would still get an extra amount of money from that game being sold at a used cost. All right? Then, when you get home, turn your Xbox back on, all of a sudden, it checks the database by doing its quick online connection check, and it sees that you traded that game in, and it automatically uninstalls that game from your system and revokes your privilege to be able to play it. That's why Always Online was going to be there. It wasn't some draconian thing. It was a way of digital rights management, and in the end, I think would have led to a lot better system and a lot easier access for people to be able to play their games and everything. I mean,
that's also what I anticipated. It'll basically be like PlayStation Plus for a regular disc, which is basically what it is. Once you back off on a subscription for something, you don't have access to it anymore. Period.
Yeah,
and that's you know,
I mean,
that's
I don't know
that's
what
not really bad.
I've been gaming on PC off and on since, you know, since 1997, 98, 99. Okay? So, digital rights management is something that everybody should know what it is and be used to it already. I don't care
You
if
gave that up
only,
when you first logged into EverQuest. You gave that up.
I don't care if you only play on console. It's not something that's new. You've known about
I don't think that was the case. Like in that case, it was the fact that nobody literally was explaining it.
Yeah.
Nobody was explaining it, because
the closest thing that came to an explanation was when people asked, "What about people who do not have a fast enough broadband speed in order to, like, you know, support such a system?" Well, there's always the Xbox 360.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's horrible.
And
see, that was a stupid, dumbass response by him to begin with. All right.
Yeah, that's what people was getting mad about. I mean,
Always Online it's not like the damn system's uploading 6 gigs a second every time. It's a quick digital rights management check. All right?
We use Always Online.
yeah.
And there's always a DRM check on it too.
Yeah.
But this
but see,
PC's Always Online. Every time I log into Steam, it's Always Online. Or Origin, it's Always Online. You know?
Yeah, but see,
when you get in your fancy car with your XM radio, it does an automatic online check. It may not seem like it, but you know what? All of a sudden, you don't pay your bill. Next day, your XM radio don't work.
Hey, Nate, the sour taste in the mouth that people were getting, though, was from the fact that they didn't understand what the difference was going to be between the disc and the digital. If they came out and said all your digital games are going to be this way, or if you opt in to using a disc and turning it into digital, it will be this way, then that would be cool. They basically put it out to say, hey, guess what? Not only will your digital games work this way, but so will your physical games. So if you put a disc in here and you decide that you want to lose it and give it to somebody else, if they try to use it, they cannot.
Yeah.
And they didn't explain the merits. They didn't explain the merit.
They didn't, and that's what got a lot of people, and that's where Microsoft screwed up. Because like y'all said, if Matrick was on his way out, why was he the one giving the press conferences? Why was he the one giving, you know, all of this other stuff? He shouldn't have been at E3. He shouldn't have been at their little Microsoft Direct. He shouldn't have been at none of that stuff.
And he was all downhill once the dude, that one guy with the stupid ass tweets.
Yeah. When he said deal with it.
Deal with it,
like,
Mr. Deal with it. I mean, it was downhill after that. I mean,
because a lot of people were thinking, especially with the Always Online, a lot of people would think, and I know this for a fact because I'm originally from Georgia, and I'm from a rural part of Georgia, that if you go down there, internet.
Oh, ain't nothing down there.
Yeah. So,
oh Lord, don't get me started.
That's
where my
like,
family comes from in Puerto Rico, they use satellite internet.
Yeah. So that was the problem with people when they said Always Online. That's what people were thinking when they said always online. They were like, man, my online suck. My internet suck. I can't have this.
Yeah.
That's what they were thinking. But if you don't have anybody that can explain that to you, that's why Sony was licking their lips at E3. They were like, we got this.
Yeah, we got enough.
Hey, real quick, that reminds me of something. Everybody in here pretty much has a Wii U, right? Except for probably Nate, because you're in the process, right?
Yeah, it's going to take a little more
okay.
time. I got some catching up to do on some stuff.
I'm also in that process.
Who actually sat down and downloaded the update with the console the time you got it?
I did.
Yeah.
I didn't do it for maybe a day or so. And it notified me, and I never went and did it. And I was able to play every launch game I had.
Yeah.
Somebody tends to think that wasn't possible.
Well,
and that lets you know immediately that
you
wasn't
can still
a
play
mandatory
the game.
update.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can still play the game.
Yeah, I mean, the people that were having problems with it because they were stopping it
They were breaking it, yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
you couldn't stop it midway. You had to let it go. And people were saying, well, this is taking too long. I'm like, dude, every console I done had past PS2 done had to do it. I had to do it with PS3, had to do it with 360.
Yeah,
I don't understand what the problem was.
So let me clear the air
accounts,
now.
You know, in Miiverse and stuff. The
Let
account,
me
your
clear
account
the air.
Miiverse.
Let me clear the air so people understand. Mandatory means that it is not possible to use this console without using an update. If it is mandatory. So clearly this update was not mandatory. That means that you can buy a Wii U from 2012 on eBay right now.
Okay, because I just dropped. And
He
came
went
back
to go
in.
buy it. He went to go buy the Wii U right now.
It's a good deal.
There you are, Tobias. Thank you, man.
Oh man.
You stop right at. You can go buy your Wii U right now. Pick up the phone.
You go.
and you black out because you're playing for too long.
Yeah.
No, literally, you could do that. It's possible. So that means it's not a mandatory update. A mandatory update would be the one that you get with Xbox One because the system doesn't work until you do it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You would have
A
to. do that.
PS3 did not have a mandatory update when you first got it. You could play a game. A 360 did not have a mandatory update when you first got it. You could play a game without connecting online at all. And that's a clear difference between that and what's on Xbox One.
You
So
know what? You want to know why?
for the one
PS4
duck out there
Xbox
that
One?
thinks that's the difference, get educated.
You want to know why PS4 and Xbox One had mandatory updates before you could play games?
Get
DRM.
rid of the DRM.
That's
Yeah,
right.
the
People
DRM
think that
was-
Sony wasn't going to do DRM. No, they weren't.
Oh,
They seen Microsoft go out there and slap that schlong out first, and then when they see people bite at it, they said, "Nah, we ain't gonna stick our schlong out there."
But that's not what Shuhei Yoshida said. He
Now,
said,
Shuhei
so
Yoshida
stupid.
will say
Stupid.
anything to get a buck. He's a whore. What do you expect?
Man, Shuhei Yoshida and Jack Trenton was back there in the back at E3 taking that camera out, taking that everything out.
But I just want to say real quick, what Nate said ain't what I say, Shu. I love you, Shu.
Oh man.
You know what? If Yoshida would have said that the sky is red, if somebody walked up and said it was blue, he would still tell them.
I mean, what was he supposed to say? Yes, that's true. We're terrible.
He
Of course he's
wasn't
going to say, well,
Oh,
no, that ain't true. I mean, come on. And it wasn't even no. He just said so stupid. He didn't say no. He could have said no, that's dumb, you know. No, that's so stupid. He just said so stupid.
Yeah, because he was telling the truth then.
Exactly.
It was stupid that they were going to do it. But then again, like I said, I wish that Microsoft would have stuck to their guns. Then Sony would have stuck to their guns, and by this time next year, we would start to see Steam-like sales on consoles. And as much as those consoles cost, as much as games are going to cost to make for them, sometimes publishers can make more money in mass quantity of sell at a lower price than what they can at less sales at the higher price.
Well,
Currently,
I
that's
was
my
gonna
one
say,
gripe. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was gonna say that actually physically affected how Xbox One was gonna perform too, because they designed from the beginning that it was just going to be one giant set of hypervisors, and half of them were going to be hosted in the cloud. So there's a lot less work for the console to do. The console was basically going to be a dumb terminal.
Right.
In retrospect, is what they wanted to do. And now, since they had to backpedal on everything, they have an entirely different console now. So it's going to be hard to see exactly if this console ever is going to be maximized now.
And I just want to say, as much as I love collecting my discs and my cartridges, I mean, I know that's on its way out. It's gonna be gone, in the next couple of cycles or so.
No more tapes.
Exactly. But
stop blowing your tapes. No more tapes.
I want an incentive. I don't want to download a game for the same much as it costs in the retail. Give me an incentive to download the game.
Exactly.
Maybe I'll start doing it right now.
Exactly, because that doesn't make any sense to charge $60 retail for a downloadable game when there's no shipping involved. Okay, maintaining the servers is not that big of a deal. It's not that hard to do. They can get interns to do that.
And not all games need the damn servers.
Some of the publishers were doing it.
I got to give Yoshida props though. Sony's going to be the first one that's going to break this, break the camel's back on this. All right, because Yoshida done said that he wants to see a day whenever somebody can buy a TV and it comes with PlayStation built in.
Nice.
Done via their cloud service that they just, their, what was it called?
Gaikai.
Yeah, Gaikai.
Whatever they want to call it now.
That's what Yoshida wants to see happen. He wants to see you be able to take and play PlayStation 4 games on a PS4, on a phone, through a TV, through a netbook, through whatever, via Gaikai streaming. And you know what? That's going to be awesome if they do it. But before that can happen, internet speeds are going to have to go up from where they're at now.
But in the United States,
as long as it ain't a Sony TV. Because they don't sell very well.
Hey, my only problem with that is, didn't they see how much of an issue that's going to be when OnLive died?
OnLive is not dead; it's still around, still kicking.
The launch
so the fish when you put it on a boat.
So is the Vita. The Vita's still alive too.
Oh yeah.
I can download OnLive app right now, go on and play the games that I actually bought a year and a half ago. Whenever I didn't have a PC. I can go and play them on my phone right now, online. Darksiders 1 on my phone, and some of the other games I got. You can play them on my phone right now via OnLive. OnLive is not dead; it is still around.
Well, go for it, Nate.
I don't know. I mean, as far as it being viable, I don't see it as being profitable for anybody right now, because right now the bandwidth just isn't there. For the few people that have 50 meg connections, I think we did a connection check the last couple podcasts we did, and we by far are the outliers, because there are so many people where grandma says I'm only getting the AT&T 1.5 megabits per second. So you're stuck with that.
We're the hardcore. We understand this. We're into that stuff. We want the highest speeds and stuff. Most people ain't like us.
Exactly.
I'm in a slow process of cutting cords. The only reason why I haven't cut all of them is because of football. Can't lose the football.
Yeah. yeah. I can understand that, because like a lot of people are like that when you start talking about everywhere.
Yeah, it's with things like that, as far as connectivity and stuff like that, especially in the United States, which is the worst country as far as very sporadic internet connection speeds. I mean, it's going to take us the longest time, because everybody else, even third world countries, are better set up than we are, because they had nothing at first, so people will set up brand new stuff everywhere.
You want to know why it's the way it is? Because of bureaucracy. Red tape, bureaucracy in the NSA. That's the reason why it's the way it is. If they was to ever let America go to the speeds that like Japan and China have,
Korea
they would have to take over the whole project, though, and that means individual states and counties and cities and stuff like that will have no say.
And it's all because they don't want to lose control. They don't want to lose if it got to where you could upload a 6 gig file in 4 seconds, which that would be pretty damn awesome.
Yeah.
The NSA could not spy on you in 4 seconds that quick. You know?
No, because it'd be so much traffic going on, they wouldn't know what to monitor really. They just cache it all and dig through it whenever they need to do an investigation.
Pretty much.
And believe me, they do spy on you. Like 4 years ago, I had DSL, and so there was optimal time to spy on me while downloading and uploading things. And I almost went to jail for downloading the movie Salt.
Lord.
Yeah.
Salt?
Salt.
Why did you get something better?
Wow.
It wasn't for me. It was for a friend.
Oh,
Sure. Uh-huh.
I don't know, man. I got something better.
That movie in particular. That
It did
movie
have
and
Angelina Jolie. My wish,
what's the other
I
one?
wish it was my wife.
Salt. There was Salt, and there was another movie. The what's that Broadway play with the with John Travolta played the girl. Hairspray. That movie and Salt, for whatever reason, people were getting busted for downloading this movie. And not only that, they had the hardest encryption scheme as far as cracking the DVD. Like, just all bad. I know this is a gray area topic, but for whatever reason, those two movies were like really watched. And I don't know if it was because they knew that they were big budget and they were making a lot of money or what. But
it was because they were horrible. You deserve to go to jail.
Lord.
well, Salt made a lot of money on DVD.
You had to be
I don't know
up to
how it did in the
something if
theaters,
you're
but-
watching either of those two movies.
Yeah, basically.
I swear to God, I've never seen either one, and yeah.
Hey,
that
I've
letter-
seen Salt and I liked
Salt was
it.
okay.
Does that make me a jackass?
No, man. I'm
No.
joking. I'm playing. It was horrible.
No,
but
you're up to something. Something suspicious going on over there.
No, I'm an Angelina Jolie fan. Okay, shoot me.
Again, something suspicious going on over there.
No, what? How do you say it? The thirst is strong with this one.
Oh, Lord.
Hey, just don't go adopting African children.
Yeah. yeah. Don't go doing no adoptions. She go adoption crazy.
Oh, Lord.
Surprised she didn't adopt Michael Jackson.
She probably tried.
He don't count.
She probably tried.
Oh, Lord.
The paperwork didn't go through.
You know what? Prince is still alive. She could adopt Prince.
Yeah, she could.
All right, we going off on a tangent now. That's for sure.
Oh, Johnny, then.
Rat hole.
I guess it's that time then.
I think
everybody.
so.
I think it's about that time. Oh
What
well,
else I'm talking about?
it's been real, you know. It's been real. I mean, you know, we had a blast, so I guess it's going to be that time to wrap everything up and just call it a night. What do you guys think, fellas?
Sounds good to me.
Sure.
All right. Let's start over here from my left, going to my right. Hey, Games Rosa, do your sign off, bro.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for having me in the podcast, and hopefully everybody will have a great week this week. And can't wait for the next bit of news that will be coming this week. So, all right.
All righty then. Up next is Jay, Mr. Fleming. Mr. Fleming, do your thing.
All right, everybody. Nice episode tonight. Look forward to our next episode. That next episode, Cell will be fighting Goku.
All righty. Up next, we got Mr. T.
All right, everybody. Once again, it was a lot of fun. I'm sorry I haven't uploaded that many videos this week. Been under the weather, as a lot of us have been. So it should be a pretty busy week next week.
Right?
And yeah, so look forward to the next podcast, and I'll see y'all later.
All righty. And just to let everybody know in advance on that note about next podcast, we're not having a podcast next week. It's going to be the week after because we're going to be on hiatus. Okay, just to let y'all know, we'll take a little week break there. Okay, so if anybody goes looking and saying, "Where's the podcast at?" Well, there's the explanation. All right, up next we got Nate doing his sign-off thing.
This is Nate of GN Tech TV, and I just want to say thanks for everybody watching the podcast, and I will catch y'all 2 weeks from now on the next podcast and in future videos. Dear God, that's a mad chop.
Sorry about that. That was a little T.
And I'm telling you, Duck Bond, quit getting Mr. T sick. You had that avian flu.
Oh, Lord. All right, up next we got Shayna. Shayna, do your thing.
All right, guys. This is Shaner123 of GN Tech TV. I'm happy to be back, and I guess we'll see you guys in 2 weeks. And for the record, Salt was not for me.
It's all right. It's all
See how
right.
he's trying to cop a serious alibi on that one. Dude, can you imagine going to, real quick, imagine going to prison for that? How do you explain that? But anyway.
Hey man, what you in for?
I mean, for salt.
Fuck that one, salt.
Oh my god.
Then they run around and they leave you alone for sure.
Angelina is pretty.
We got Tahiti.
This guy's insane, man. He watched that whole movie 3 times.
All right, Shadow Fox, do your thing.
Hey, Shadow Fox Prime, Shadow Fox Infinite from purevideogames.net. I have a blog there. Apparently, people have found an old article I have there comparing the Xbox and GameCube and their relative power a long time ago. So if you go there, you'll see it there too, and it's really interesting. Also, I would like to give a shout out to Furious Francis for finally mentioning the Gamers at Large podcast. And as I always say, do you play games to have fun or to impress other people?
Alrighty then. And of course that leaves me, QMC Quan Manchu, your favorite moderator's favorite moderator. No, let me stop.
Ow.
I had to throw that in there.
That shit funny to me.
Okay, that's enough of that. Anywho, but it's been real, and like I said, see you guys in 2 weeks, and as I always say, whatever's
Bang,
close.
bang.
Merry Christmas!
Oh, no. Stop that. We out.
Quack,
We out.
quack, quack.